Hey guys, what is going on? This is Wrestlelamia back with another episode. The wait is over and it's time for AEW Double or Nothing. Join us now as Wrestlelamia recaps the show and looks at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. The buy-in, pre-show, Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling versus Hook and Danhausen. Hook cleans house and Danhausen asks to be tagged in. Danhausen stands on Nese for the 1, 2, 3. Your winners, Hook and Danhausen. Main show, MJF versus Wardlow. If Wardlow wins, he will be out of his contract with MJF. If he loses, he can never work in AEW again. MJF does his best to avoid Wardlow, but he only delays the inevitable. Wardlow hits 5 powerbombs and covers MJF, only to stop the pin at the 2 count. Wardlow delivers 5 more powerbombs before standing on MJF for the 1, 2, 3. Your winner, Wardlow. MJF is stretchered out of the arena as fans go wild. Tony Schiavone interviews Wardlow and congratulates him on becoming All Elite. Wardlow is a free man. Elite versus Delete. The Hardys, Matt and Jeff, versus the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson with Brandon Cutler. The referee quickly loses control of this match and it turns into an impromptu Texas Tornado tag match with the heels getting the advantage and mocking the Hardys. The Young Bucks' arrogance and overconfidence backfires though. Jeff hits a swanton to Matt on the steel steps. Cover by Jeff, 1, 2, 3, your winners, the Hardys. TBS Championship match, Jade Cargill defends against Anna Jay. Anna Jay tries to use her speed to gain the advantage, but Cargill is too powerful, and as soon as the opportunity arises, it's non-stop punishment for Jay. Top rope avalanche by Cargill, and she covers Jay for the win. Your winner and still champion, Jade Cargill. After the match, Cargill and the baddies go to beat down Jay, but Chris Statlander runs in for the save. Things are heating up as Athena, aka former WWE superstar Ember Moon, shows up next, helping Statlander and Jay. 6-man tag match, the House of Black, Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King versus the Death Triangle, Pac, Penta Oscuro, and Rey Fenix. Pac goes to the top rope, but the lights go out. Julia Hart is standing in the ring and sprays Pac with the Black Mist. Black Mass to Pac as Malachi covers him for the win. Your winners, the House of Black. Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament Final, Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe. Joe starts off strong, manhandling Cole until Cole gets a chance to target Joe's injured shoulder. It's an evenly matched contest until Bobby Fish distracts Joe, allowing Cole to super kick him and land the Panama Sunset for the win. Your Owen Hart Men's Tournament winner, Adam Cole. Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament Final, Dr. Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho. Both competitors dig deep into their respective arsenals, hitting their signatures and finishers to no avail. Finally, Soho goes for a victory roll, but Baker reverses it for the victory. Your Owen Hart Women's Tournament winner, Britt Baker. Dr. Britt walks up the entrance ramp where Tony Schiavone hugs her. Mixed tag match, America's Top Team, Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and Paige Van Zandt with Dan Lambert versus Sammy Guevara, Frankie Kazarian, and Ty Conti. Infighting between Kazarian and the 2 Latin lovers only makes things worse. Sky capitalizes, hitting a TKO on Kazarian for the win. Your winners, American Top Team with Dan Lambert. Kyle O'Reilly versus Darby Allin. O'Reilly starts off strong, showing no mercy to Allin as he lays into Darby with strike after strike. Allin shows incredible resiliency despite an onslaught of punishment from his opponent. However, Allin is still human and 3 penalty kicks followed by a flying knee drop secures the win for O'Reilly. Your winner, Kyle O'Reilly. AEW Women's World Heavyweight Championship match, Thunder Rosa defends against Serena DEIB. DEIB uses her conditioning and submission skills to wear Rosa down, but the champion endures, finally executing a superplex followed by a Thunder Driver for the 1, 2, 3. Your winner and still champion, Thunder Rosa. Anarchy in the Arena match, the Blackpool Combat Club, Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson, along with Eddie Kingston, Ortiz, and Santana versus the Jericho Appreciation Society, Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker. Wrestlelamia wishes we could describe the action, but this one was literally anarchy in the arena, with action taking place throughout as all 10 men beat each other bloody and senseless. This one literally has everything but the kitchen sink as barbed wire, forks, fire extinguishers, ladders, and baseball bats, and that's only the tip of the proverbial iceberg come into play. Walls of Jericho on Daniel while Hager wraps the ring ropes around Danielson's neck. Danielson passes out. Your winners, the Jericho Appreciation Society. Andrade introduces his latest acquisition, Rush El Toro Blanco. Andrade says he's done with the losers in the AFO. AEW World Tag Team Championship match, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus defend against Team Taz, Powerhouse Hobbs and Absolute Ricky Starks, and Keith Lee and Shane Strickland. While things aren't as chaotic as the Anarchy in the Arena match, this triple threat bout sees the three teams doing their best to take each other out of the match. It's anybody's game until Jungle Boy fights with Shane Strickland in the corner and Luchasaurus shows up, allowing his partner to hit Jurassic Express for the win. Your winners and still tag team champions, Jurassic Express. AEW World Heavyweight Championship match, Hangman Adam Page defends against CM Punk. Both Punk and Page try to outdo each other by utilizing each other's counters. Page grabs the championship belt and looks like he's ready to blast Punk with it. However, the champion hesitates, then drops the title. Another buckshot attempt, but Punk counters into a GTS as the referee revives long enough to make the 3 count. Your winner and new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, CM Punk. The Good. SOHO vs. Baker steals the show. The Owen Hart's Women's Tournament final nearly stole the show. Tonight was Ruby Soho's night to shine as she showed how talented she is and how underutilized she was in WWE. At the same time, Britt Baker showed why she's arguably the best wrestler in AEW's women's division, putting in the consistent effort fans have come to expect. Terrific Trios match. AEW showed the excitement that can be found with Trios teams as Death Triangle and the House of Black put on an exciting, fast-paced match that featured some great spots. At the same time, it didn't fall into the trap of some Trios matches where it's one meaningless spot after another. Danhausen and Hook make a good team. The idea of pairing badass Hook with Daffy Danhausen seemed like a good way to ruin the weeks of build-up AEW has spent with Hook. Nonetheless, tonight's tag match served as a reminder that sometimes wrestling odd couples can lead to good or even great things. Wardlow gets his revenge. There was plenty of uncertainty about tonight's MJF vs. Wardlow match, with one of the biggest questions being whether MJF would even show up after he no-showed AEW's FanFest. While it's unknown if there are still backstage problems between MJF and Wardlow, that didn't stop AEW from continuing Wardlow's push to the top, with MJF's former bodyguard finally getting his revenge on MJF, not to mention his freedom. Some dazzling debuts. AEW continued its tradition of surprise debuts at pay-per-views, with Athena, aka former WWE superstar Ember Moon, Rush El Toro Blanco, and Stokely Hathaway, aka former WWE superstar Malcolm Bivens, showing up tonight. Let's hope they don't get lost in the AEW shuffle. Peerless production. Tonight's Anarchy in the Arena match was the wild brawl everyone expected, with action taking place throughout the arena as promised. Major props to the production team for cutting back and forth to the various segments, ensuring fans got to see as much of the action as possible. Things weren't perfect, but in light of the chaos, it was incredible how much the camera crew caught. The Bad. Baker wins again? Did Dr. Britt Baker need to win tonight's Owen Hart Women's Tournament? While she and Ruby Soho had a fantastic match, Wrestlelamia couldn't help but feel that AEW wanted to stroke both her and Adam Cole's egos by having them win the tournaments. Baker has established herself at the top of the AEW mountain, and based on her performance in the tournament, Ruby Soho has shown that she has what it takes to be a main eventer, so why didn't Soho win? Craptastic Championship clashes. How else to describe tonight's TBS Championship and AEW Women's Championship matches? AEW set its women's division back to 2019 with these two blunder-filled bouts. Predictable turn and a terrible trope. AEW needs to retire the lights out trope as they've run it into the ground. It didn't help that it was used for a predictable heel turn by Julia Hart either. AEW is getting lazy with some of its storytelling, which is not a good sign as Dynamite enters its 4th year. Repetitious wrestling. AEW is often praised for its outstanding in-ring product, and while Double or Nothing provided some excellent wrestling, it also featured a number of repetitious spots. Hardys are looking old. You hate to see your heroes get old, but watching the Young Bucks vs. Hardys, you had to wish that Matt and Jeff could turn back the hands of time. Matt and Jeff put on a good match, yet it was obvious that they've lost a step and that they're making up for the lack of mobility by taking sick bumps. Thankfully, it hasn't reached 73-year-old Ric Flair levels of pathos yet. The downright ugly. Nothing ugly about Double or Nothing, but the show seemed to drag despite it being the same running time as most AEW pay-per-views. Well guys, there you have it, Wrestlemania's in-depth analysis of the 2022 edition of AEW Double or Nothing. Did you watch the show? And if so, what did you think? Be sure to leave your comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time for some more wrestling content.